Hi Shir, Pearl, Dom and Salim. Thank you for your submission and thank you for all your hard work over the semester. It's been a pleasure to teach you all. Just want, first of all, before I do any discussions, just to go over your final submission. Okay, so that's very interesting. First reactions, perhaps it's not quite as punchy as it could be. I think it works really well. I like the way you started. I think it's a very strong start, and I think that the use of sound is particularly strong. A lot of the ideas that you've had, I think, could be executed a little bit better. It's like this section here, I think, it could have been transferred. I know you guys were perhaps behind in your times, but here you have a wonderful tracking reference with this Apple thing and with these love hearts. If he actually loves his computer so much, it would be nice to have them framed around his face and not necessarily falling and covering his face there. And similarly, you had a great opportunity there for some sort of animation, and that would be just getting one of these love hearts and then maybe animating it up to along a path and maybe having them disappearing like soap bubbles or something like that, and have them on a layer with a null object, which would allow, once you've tracked that point, to have a feeling like it's almost like pheromones of love popping out of the computer. So there's an opportunity there that could have been maybe monopolized, probably exploited a bit better there. So as in the same way as you've done here, I think that's a great idea here. Not so sure what the teachers think you're doing, and I think that there's a distinct lack of anything going on as far as the graphics are concerned. So here, there was an opportunity for something to have been written on this piece of paper. The teacher's thinking, the teacher thinks I don't know, what does the teacher think you're doing? Are you copying things? What's the idea we're trying to convey here? You have this wonderful space in the wall here, which you could have used to have had some text there. It might well be that the teachers think that you're maybe you're in a copying room, maybe they think that you're copying stuff, maybe they think that you're wasting stuff, and so you can have some sort of graphic indicating the mounting costs of the print room or the statistics of plagiarism or copyright infringement, whatever it is that you're trying to convey as your idea here. And it is waste. Okay, so here, based on the next section, you're thinking about waste. That's great. You need to convey that. There needs to be some use of your graphical design elements to imply that your teachers think that you're wasting things. Now, what parents think I do, I think that this works out quite well. You could have maybe animated, I think the animation perhaps a little bit punchier there, and you could have had a little bit more interaction with him. What parents think that he's doing is wasting time and throwing paper at each other. I don't know, there's several things that you might have considered there, maybe a little bit more of a childish interaction between these two. He might have thrown something back at each other, or something, but it's perhaps not busy enough. I know it's not your strongest piece. Boom, either to hit it, either make that a little bit more punchier, or have some more interaction going on there. Now, what Society Thinks I Do is the same sort of thing as what we had with Love Hearts. You could have taken one of these and thought perhaps a little bit more about what you're saying here. So I know you're blowing smoke away, you're wasting money. I think metaphorically you could start by having these dollar signs going on some different tracks and maybe applying some different effects to blur them out and make them look, and use some turbulence or something like that, some noise or displacement effects to grab that and make it spill out a little bit more like smoke. So halfway up you could have completely blurred it out and then used some sort of distortion function to distortion effect rather, to make that dollar turn into smoke. And a bit more. I think that the $3 signs probably just touches on the so you're not losing the message. And here you're saying what Society Thinks I Do. It's a beautiful painting, and I think that it's done really well, but I perhaps think that you either have to stick with your one idea of Society Thinks you waste money, or Society thinks that I draw pretty pictures. And I think that if society saw you painting pictures like that, they'd probably think that you're not wasting your time. It's actually very, very nice. What I think I do here, I think that this is where a close-up would have been really good to show the terror and the look of desperation in his eyes as he doesn't know what he's doing, and he feels the stress and pressure of awful teachers making them do awful things in short periods of time. To really bring in the drama there. So you might have, like you're playing with your camera here, increase the sense of confusion. But again, there's a distinct lack of message, I think, or at least the extension in terms of the graphics is how you're working with the message. So what I think I do, and if you think you work really hard, maybe you should have done something with the piles of books, to the point where you can't see him anymore. He's so covered in books and impossible to see him. So that could have been done as well with graphics. It could have been done where you feel, or you could have had pieces of paper, for example. You could have covered him in paper and then just show this little hole of a window where he's able to escape through all the work that he has to do. You're kind of implying that here with the layers of paper you got here. But I think that you could have perhaps as an animated thing, you could have started having there and then maybe introduce one piece of paper, two pieces of paper, and before you know it, you're like that guy in the accounting ad where he's absolutely covered in paper. So that might have helped to reinforce the message, and again, use more graphical elements to reinforce your message. What I actually do, you started to do that. I think this is good. We started really well with the Facebook. I think that you still have a lot of other room that you could have used to do other things besides Facebook. And this is really good, but I still feel that you could have had Facebook, 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 Facebook. What I actually do is on Facebook, and then possibly even a tweak about I'm working really hard on my motion graphics assignment, as you can see, and just to fill that up, to recreate the mood a bit, because you've used it there, and I think that the Facebook thing, you could have perhaps thought of something what you could do with that, because it's not really large enough. I think you could perhaps maybe have even done your transition from the Facebook on the page, and maybe tracked the screen and had a big Facebook or a Twitter or whatever it is that you spend your time, something indicate that you're just wasting time on the computer, and made that a bit clearer, and used your screen as a device to put some information into the frame, because I don't think it works as well having the stuff floating in the side there, because you've got that showing on your screen. And here I think you got a huge lost opportunity, because you said it's due, and then everyone goes, what? And then it cuts. So I think that especially given that you had such good acting and this nice thing there, I think that that might have been better to actually had less time in the Facebook and had the guy in the middle of it suddenly become alarmed and go, "Oh, guys, it's due," and then it turns around and the guy goes, "What?" and some kind of cataclysmic ending, maybe have everything smashed into pieces, a whole world's of students destroyed around. In any case, that's the major feedback for your piece. I think that it perhaps didn't. Yes, you have clearly conveyed your message, but I think that it could have been supported better with more graphical elements. I like the use of masking. I think that works well. I think that's a good feature of your work. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. I think that it is quite an interesting piece. It had a lot of room for improvement, but I do think that you've done a quite a good job. Anyway, just on a personal note, I'd like to thank you for being my students. Thank you for coming to my lectures, and I've enjoyed being a teacher, and I wish you all the very best in your future endeavours, and maybe we can meet up someday in the future. Who knows? Take care. Bye-bye.